I need you to stop what you are doing and look at your kitchen counter right now, because there is a very good chance that sitting in a bowl or waiting in your refrigerator is a fruit that looks healthy, that your doctor has never warned you about, that your wife probably buys for you every single week. And that is silently, steadily dismantling your testosterone, feeding your belly fat, stiffening your arteries, and draining the very energy and drive that make you feel like yourself. And here is what makes this so frustrating. You are not being careless. You are trying. You are eating fruit instead of chips. You are choosing what you believe is healthy. And that effort is being betrayed by information nobody bothered to give you until today. I'm Dr. Hanai, a urologist with over 30 years of experience helping men like you regain their energy, performance, and vitality. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Before we go any further, if you're serious about protecting your prostate, staying strong, and living without fear, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I share real information backed by real science for men just like you. And if this topic matters to you, type 1 in the comments and tell me where in the world you're watching from. If not, type 0 so I know how to help you better next time. Now, let's get into it. In 30 years of urology, one of the most common things I hear from men over 50 is some version of this. Doctor, I am doing everything right. I exercise. I watch what I eat. I take my supplements. So, why do I feel like my body is working against me? Why is my energy gone? Why are my erections weaker than they were 2 years ago? Why is the drive just not there anymore? And when I sit with these men and we go through their diets carefully, something comes up again and again. They are eating fruit every single day, and some of it is helping them, and some of it is quietly doing more hormonal damage than a dessert ever could. Here is what most men over 50 do not know, and what I am going to walk you through today. Not all fruit is equal. For a younger man, the sugar in fruit is processed efficiently and causes minimal disruption to hormone levels. But after 50, your metabolic flexibility changes. Your insulin sensitivity decreases. Your body stores fat more readily, particularly around the abdomen. And that abdominal fat is not just a cosmetic problem. It is an endocrine organ. It contains an enzyme called aromatase. And aromatase does one thing. It converts your testosterone into estrogen. So when you eat a fruit that sends your blood sugar spiking, your insulin surging, and your body rushing to store fat, you are not just gaining weight. You are actively funding a biological process that is trading your testosterone for estrogen. And the more that process runs unchecked, the more you feel it in your energy, in your mood, in your bedroom, in your mirror. This is what I call the testosterone drain cycle. High sugar fruit triggers insulin. Insulin promotes fat storage. Fat storage activates aromatase. Aromatase converts testosterone to estrogen. And lower testosterone drives more fatigue, more belly fat, more estrogen, and the cycle tightens around you like a slow knot. But here is what I also know. After 30 years, the cycle runs in reverse just as powerfully. Choose the right fruits and you feed your body the compounds it needs to produce nitric oxide, repair arterial walls, lower cortisol, stabilize blood sugar, and provide the precise raw materials your hormonal system needs to manufacture testosterone efficiently. The right fruits are not just food. They are biological signals telling your body to stay strong, stay sharp, and stay vital. Today, I am going to give you 4 fruits that send exactly those signals and 4 fruits that are sending the opposite message without you ever realizing it. Stay with me through the entire video because the final fruit on the destroyer list is one that men eat every single day, believing it is one of the healthiest choices they can make. And I promise you, what I'm about to tell you about it will change the way you look at your breakfast forever. Let us start with the fruits that are working for you. Supercharger number 1, pomegranate. I want to tell you about a patient of mine, a 63-year-old man, a retired police officer named Marcus. When he first came to see me, he was quiet, a little withdrawn. He said, "Doctor, I feel like someone turned a dimmer switch on inside me." His energy was low. His motivation had flatlined, and intimacy with his wife had become something he avoided because he was afraid of disappointing her. His blood work showed low testosterone and elevated cortisol. His arteries, while not severely damaged, showed early signs of reduced elasticity. I asked him about his diet. He was eating reasonably well, but there was no pomegranate anywhere in his routine. We made changes, and pomegranate was the first thing I added. Here is why pomegranate is one of the most antioxidant-dense fruits available to you. It contains a concentration of polyphenols that is genuinely extraordinary, far surpassing most other fruits and many vegetables. And those polyphenols do something critical for men over 50. They protect the endothelium. The endothelium is the inner lining of your blood vessels. Think of it as the smooth interior coating of every artery in your body, including the delicate microvessels that supply blood to your penile tissue. When the endothelium is healthy and flexible, blood moves freely. Nitric oxide is produced efficiently, and erections are strong and reliable. When the endothelium is damaged by oxidative stress, it becomes stiff, inflamed and resistant, and blood flow becomes sluggish. Pomegranate's polyphenols act as a protective repair system for that lining. They neutralize the free radicals that cause oxidative damage. They reduce inflammation in the arterial walls, and they support the sustained production of nitric oxide, which is the master signal that tells your blood vessels to relax and open. And that is just the vascular benefit. Pomegranate also contains compounds that measurably lower cortisol. And this matters enormously because cortisol and testosterone exist in a direct inverse relationship. When cortisol rises, your body reads it as a signal that you are under threat, and it suppresses testosterone production to redirect energy elsewhere. By calming the cortisol response, pomegranate creates the hormonal space for testosterone to recover. Studies have shown that consistent daily pomegranate intake can lead to a measurable increase in salivary testosterone levels, along with improved mood, reduced anxiety, and greater physical confidence. Marcus started drinking a small glass of pure unsweetened pomegranate juice every morning with breakfast. Within 6 weeks, he came back to my clinic and said something I remember clearly. He said, "Doctor, I feel like someone turned that dimmer switch back up." The practical guidance here is simple. 1 small glass of 100% pure pomegranate juice daily with no added sugar and no fruit blends. Check the label every time. You can also eat the arrows directly or scatter them over Greek yogurt. The key is consistency. This is not a one-time treatment, it is a daily ritual. Supercharger number 2, watermelon. Most men hear the word watermelon and think of summer barbecues. They do not think of blood flow optimization or erectile function, but they should. Watermelon contains one of the highest natural concentrations of an amino acid called citrulline, particularly concentrated in the pale white rind nearest to the skin. And citrine, once absorbed, converts in your body to L-arginine, which is the direct precursor to nitric oxide. You already know what nitric oxide does. It is the signal your blood vessels need to relax, dilate, and allow maximum blood flow. It is the mechanism behind every strong, full erection. Without adequate nitric oxide, the smooth muscle tissue in your penile chambers cannot receive sufficient blood volume. And the result is what I call erectile fatigue, the inability to achieve full firmness or to maintain it reliably over time. Watermelon provides a gentle, sustained natural boost in nitric oxide production. It does not spike and crash the way a supplement might. It works gradually and cumulatively, keeping your vascular system primed and responsive. I had a patient, 67 years old, who had been using a low-dose medication for erectile support for 2 years. He came to me frustrated because even with the medication, results were inconsistent. We looked at his diet and found it was almost completely devoid of the foods that support natural nitric oxide production. We added watermelon and pomegranate to his daily routine and made several other dietary adjustments. Within a month, his consistency improved significantly. He described the change as feeling like the medication finally had something to work with. That is exactly right. Medication can support the system, but if the raw materials are missing, the system cannot respond fully. Practical guidance. Eat watermelon a couple of hours before exercise or before anticipated intimacy. And do not discard the rind. Blend small pieces of the pale inner rind into your morning smoothie. It is dense with citrine and tasteless enough to disappear into any blend. Make it a habit and your vascular system will reward you for it. Supercharger number 3, berries. If I could recommend one daily food habit to every man over 50 in my clinic, it would be 1 cup of mixed berries every single day. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, not as a treat, not as an occasional addition, as a non-negotiable daily foundation. Here is why. Berries carry 2 properties that are uniquely valuable for men over 50. First, they are extraordinarily rich in a class of antioxidants called flavonoids, specifically anthocyanins. These compounds have been shown to strengthen capillary walls and repair the microvascular tissue throughout the body. Remember that the arteries serving your penile tissue are among the smallest in the body. They are the first to show the effects of vascular damage and the first to respond to vascular repair. Berries are essentially microvascular maintenance for the exact system that controls your erectile function. Second, and critically, berries have a low glycemic load. They deliver their nutrients wrapped in high fiber, which slows sugar absorption dramatically and prevents the insulin spikes that suppress testosterone and promote belly fat. You get the antioxidant benefit without triggering the testosterone drain cycle. The emotional benefit here is something I see consistently in patients who make this shift. Stable blood sugar means stable energy and stable mood. Men who eliminate high sugar fruits and replace them with berries often describe feeling less irritable, more mentally clear, and more motivated throughout the day. That shift in baseline energy is what makes intimacy feel like something you want rather than something you are too tired to consider. Practical guidance. 1 cup of mixed berries with breakfast every day. Fresh is ideal. Frozen is equally effective nutritionally and often more affordable. Combine them with Greek yogurt for protein or with oatmeal for additional fiber to slow sugar absorption even further. This is the simplest, most accessible hormonal protection habit you can build. Supercharger number 4, avocado. Technically a fruit. Practically one of the most powerful hormonal support foods available to men over 50, avocado is rich in monounsaturated fats, potassium, and vitamin K. And the reason those monounsaturated fats matter so profoundly for testosterone is this. Testosterone, like all sex hormones, is synthesized from cholesterol. Your body cannot produce testosterone without an adequate supply of healthy fats to serve as the raw material for that synthesis. A low-fat diet is one of the quietest and most underappreciated causes of low testosterone I see in clinical practice. Men cut fat thinking they are being healthy, and they are inadvertently starving their hormonal factory of the one ingredient it cannot function without. Avocado provides exactly the right kind of fat. Clean, monounsaturated, anti-inflammatory, and highly bioavailable to the hormonal production pathway. Beyond the hormone precursor benefit, avocados are an exceptional source of potassium. Potassium plays a direct role in regulating blood pressure by relaxing blood vessel walls and counteracting the effects of sodium. And because high blood pressure is one of the primary contributors to arterial stiffness, incorporating potassium-rich foods is a direct investment in the vascular flexibility that supports both heart health and erectile function. The satiety factor is also significant. The healthy fats in avocado are deeply filling. Men who eat half an avocado daily consistently report reduced cravings for sugary snacks throughout the rest of the day. And every sugary snack avoided is a blood sugar spike avoided, which is an insulin surge avoided, which is a small but real protection against the testosterone drain cycle. Practical guidance: half an avocado daily. Add it to your morning eggs, which contain cholesterol, making the pairing a natural hormonal support combination. Blend it into a smoothie. Spread it on whole grain toast. Eat it with a source of protein to extend the satiety benefit and maximize the hormonal return. Now, before we get into the destroyer list, I want to pause here for just a moment. If you have been watching this video and something is clicking for you, if you are starting to see your diet differently, if you are realizing that the choices you make at the grocery store have a direct biological impact on how you feel, how you perform, and how you experience your own body every single day, then please subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button, because every week I bring you exactly this kind of content. Real clinical knowledge, real mechanisms, real strategies, no confusion, no shame, just the truth about your body and what it needs. You deserve to have access to this every single week. And subscribing costs you nothing. Now, the destroyer list. And I want you to pay close attention here, because this is where most men are unknowingly working against themselves. Destroyer number 1, grapes. They are convenient, bite-sized, and feel like a responsible snack choice. And for a younger man with strong insulin sensitivity, they may be relatively harmless in modest portions. But for a man over 50, grapes represent one of the most deceptive sugar delivery systems in the fruit world. Here is the problem. Grapes are sugar-dense in a form that your brain does not register accurately. Because they are small, you eat them continuously without a natural stopping point. 1 handful becomes 2. 2 becomes the whole bunch. And by the time you stop, you have consumed a sugar load that rivals a can of soda, delivered rapidly without significant fiber to slow it down. That rapid sugar delivery triggers a sharp, powerful insulin surge. And as we established at the beginning of this video, insulin surges in men over 50 are direct testosterone suppressors. They signal the body to stop producing testosterone and to begin storing fat, particularly visceral fat, which then activates aromatase, which converts whatever testosterone remains into estrogen. There is also an energy consequence that men feel directly. The insulin surge that follows a great binge creates a rapid blood sugar drop, and that drop hits like a wall. Fatigue, irritability, low motivation, and a complete absence of desire. Not just sexual desire, but the desire to move, to engage, to be present. That is the grapes talking. Treat grapes as an occasional dessert item, never as a daily snack. If you find yourself reaching for them regularly, replace the habit with a handful of blueberries or a few slices of avocado. You keep the hand-to-mouth snacking behavior, and you replace the hormonal damage with hormonal support. Destroyer number 2, bananas. The gym bag staple, the potassium poster fruit, the breakfast edition that millions of men over 50 eat every morning without a second thought. And I understand why. Bananas are convenient, filling, and genuinely do contain potassium. But for men over 50, the sugar and starch profile of a ripe banana creates a metabolic problem that the potassium benefit does not come close to compensating for. A fully ripe banana has a very high glycemic index. The carbohydrates are rapidly digested and converted to glucose, hitting your bloodstream quickly and demanding a significant insulin response. This is the same mechanism we discussed with grapes, the same downstream suppression of testosterone, the same signal to store visceral fat, and the same activation of aromatase. The emotional consequence I see most often in men who rely on bananas as a daily staple is a persistent sluggishness, not acute fatigue, a kind of low-grade heaviness that they have normalized because it has been there so long. They describe feeling unmotivated after breakfast, mentally foggy mid-AM morning, and physically uninspired. They have attributed it to age. It is not age. It is blood sugar volatility compounding over years. If you want to keep bananas in your life, use half a banana as part of a post-exercise smoothie, combined with protein powder, almond butter, and a handful of spinach. The fat and protein from the other ingredients slow glucose absorption significantly, softening the insulin response. But stop eating whole bananas alone as a daily snack. The potassium benefit is available from avocado without the hormonal cost. Destroyer number 3, orange juice. I want to be very precise here because there is an important distinction between a whole orange and a glass of orange juice. The whole orange eaten occasionally is not my primary concern. The juice is a different substance entirely, and for men over 50, it is one of the most hormonally damaging things you can consume first thing in the morning. When you juice an orange, you remove the fiber, and fiber is the body's natural speed regulator for sugar absorption. Without it, the fructose in orange juice, and there is a significant amount, hits your bloodstream almost immediately after consumption. A single glass of commercial orange juice can contain as much sugar as a can of cola. And because it is liquid, the absorption is even faster than solid food. The liver receives this fructose load and processes it under stress. Chronic repeated fructose flooding of the liver is one of the direct contributors to insulin resistance, which, as we have established, is ground zero for the testosterone drain cycle. And it is all happening while you stand in your kitchen thinking you are doing something healthy for yourself. I have had men in my clinic who made no other dietary changes except eliminating their daily glass of orange juice. And within 4 to 6 weeks, They noticed a measurable improvement in their morning energy, their mental clarity, and in several cases, the spontaneous return of morning erections that had been absent for months. Eliminate orange juice completely and permanently from your daily routine. If you want vitamin C, eat a kiwi fruit, a handful of berries, or add fresh lemon juice to your water. If you want to eat a whole orange occasionally as part of a meal, that is acceptable. But the daily juice ritual is doing you genuine, measurable hormonal harm and needs to stop. Destroyer number 4, mango. And here we are, the fruit I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the one that surprises men the most, the one that is beloved, that feels exotic and indulgent and natural all at once. And that is for men over 50, the single highest leverage hormonal mistake on this entire list. A single medium-sized mango contains over 45 grams of sugar. Let me put that in context for you. That is more sugar than most candy bars, and it is delivered in a form that your body absorbs rapidly because while mango does contain some fiber, it is not nearly enough to slow the absorption of that sugar volume significantly. The insulin response to a full mango is extreme, and the downstream consequences follow the exact trajectory we have been discussing throughout this video, but amplified. The insulin surge is larger, the fat storage signal is stronger, the visceral fat accumulation is faster, and the aromatase activation, the enzyme converting your testosterone to estrogen, runs at a higher level for a longer period. I have patients who ate mango daily, genuinely believing it was a healthy food. They were puzzled by stubborn belly fat that would not move despite diet and exercise. They were frustrated by declining testosterone levels that did not respond to the interventions that usually work. When we removed the mango and replaced it with berries and pomegranate, the shift was consistent and significant. The emotional weight of this one is real. Men who struggle with persistent belly fat often feel a deep loss of physical confidence. They avoid mirrors. They disengage from intimacy not because desire is entirely absent, but because they feel disconnected from their own body and embarrassed by what they see. That disconnection is not vanity. It is a legitimate grief for a version of themselves that still felt strong and in control. And in many of these men, the dietary driver was a fruit they were eating every single day, thinking they were being healthy. Mango is an occasional treat, a vacation indulgence, not a daily food. If you love tropical flavor in your smoothies, use a very small amount of pineapple, which contains bromelain, an anti-inflammatory enzyme, and carries a slightly better sugar to nutrient ratio than mango. But your absolute best substitution is always berries and pomegranate every single time. Let me bring everything together for you now, because you have just received a significant amount of information and I want to make sure it lands clearly and stays with you. 4 fruits that are sending your body a signal to stay strong. Pomegranate, which repairs your arterial lining, lowers cortisol, and supports measurable testosterone recovery. Watermelon, which boosts your natural nitric oxide production and keeps your vascular system primed and responsive. Berries, which repair your microvascular tissue, stabilize blood sugar, and protect your hormonal balance every single day. An avocado, which provides the healthy fat your body needs to synthesize testosterone and the potassium that keeps your blood vessels flexible and open. 4 fruits that are sending your body the opposite signal. Grapes, which deliver a rapid sugar avalanche that suppresses testosterone and feeds visceral fat. Bananas, which create a blood sugar roller coaster that leaves you sluggish, hormonally disrupted, and energetically depleted. Orange juice, which floods your system with rapid fructose and drives insulin resistance at the very root of your hormonal health. And mango, which carries the highest sugar load of any common fruit and the most powerful activation of the testosterone to estrogen conversion cycle. Your action plan is this. For the next 14 days, remove all 4 destroyer fruits from your diet completely. At the same time, add pomegranate juice to your breakfast, berries to your morning meal, half an avocado daily, and watermelon or a citrine-rich smoothie before exercise. Do this consistently and pay attention to how you feel at the end of 2 weeks. Your energy, your mental clarity, your morning erections, and your sense of physical control will tell you something has changed. I want to leave you with something I believe deeply after 30 years of working with men who were told their best days were behind them. Decline is not destiny. The men I watch thrive in their 60s, 70s, and beyond are not doing anything miraculous. They are not on exotic protocols or expensive treatments. They are simply making informed choices every single day about the signals they are sending their bodies. And those signals accumulate, they compound, and they show up in the way you feel when you wake up in the morning, in how you move through your day, in how you show up for the people you love, and in how you experience your own body in private moments. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel clear. You deserve to experience your own vitality as something that belongs to you, not something that was quietly taken away while you were trying to be healthy. The information I gave you today is not complicated. It does not require a prescription or a program or a significant financial investment. It requires a trip to the grocery store and a decision to stop trusting that all fruit is equal. Your hormonal system is not broken. It is responding to what you are feeding it. Change the fuel and it will change its response. That is not hope. That is biology. If this video gave you something real today, please give it a like and share it with a man in your life who is fighting fatigue, belly fat, or a quiet loss of confidence. He needs this information and he may not find it anywhere else. I am Dr. Hanai, and I will see you next week with more real science for real men living real lives. Because the best version of you is not a memory. It is a choice you can make starting